Howdy guys, this is my second video tonight. Um, uh, just off the top of my head, I realize I probably haven't explained this before, but when I did the series on what it takes to work on setting up a set of Pakistani bagpipes or parlor pipes, this is the actual set that I set up. And when I set this set of pipes up at the very beginning, I was using a long practice chanter, and it was, I mean, they sounded good and okay with everything like that, and they had some issues that I've had to work through over a fair amount of time. Well, when I discovered that Hakam Din was making the chanters for small pipes, and they fit, well, mostly the standard for these pipes, I got a set of the chanters. So this actual set of pipes is the set of pipes that you see me working on when I set them up. They're pitched much lower now, and I had to change the pitch on the high A on this because it was, a lot of people were griping that it was too flat, which it's fine. If it sounds bad enough for somebody to say something, I mean, you know what I mean, because I like the way these pipes sound as they are now. But this is their final iteration. I just noticed my chanter is slightly bowed. But that's okay. They still sound okay to me. But I wanted to kind of cover what my kind of goal is with the piping. And I know I'm not that great on the great pipes and everything. And that's because I don't practice on them all the time. I'm playing this set of pipes in my other sets for practice, because I'm still figuring out how to march, and it's really difficult for me. When I started out in music, it was with classical symphony music, and you don't march with it, and you don't really tap your foot to it. You play along with what you have memorized along with the music in front of you. So that's the way I learned how to play. So in marching to bagpipe music is kind of an alien concept to me, and there's a difference between marching and keeping time. A lot of people won't understand what I mean by that. Maybe a small minority of people will understand. But anyway, so this set of pipes is the final iteration of all the work it takes to get a set of Pakistani parlor pipes. Now, I don't know what brand these are, because these weren't from Hakam Din. These were something else. But they do follow amongst themselves, the Pakistani bagpipes and stuff like that. They follow a standard amongst themselves. Now, I've never measured anything like that, because there's a difference between inches and millimeters, which I think millimeters is probably a little bit more precise of a measurement. But if you did things by inches, you would have to do things by fractions of an inch, which I can see where there would be confusion. Excuse me, I got a frog in my throat. So anyway, this is the final iteration of those pipes, Pakistani. Man, big old frog in my throat. The Pakistani parlor pipes. Then I think me personally, I think these sound great, and they carry well in a big room, and they carry well in a smaller room. But the main thing, I kind of, my formula that I wanted to work on, if I had the time to continuously practice and then I was making money playing these pipes in public and stuff like that. My goal would be to tell stories through the pipes. Now, some of the stories would only come out in understanding to other pipers, and that's not entirely the goal, but sometimes you can tell a story with just the name of the tune, and I think that's kind of fun. And then you have other things that you can do, you know, like my Viking set that I played once in. Some people liked it a lot, and other people were like, "Well, it's not Scottish." And I'm like, "Well, I'm not trying to be Scottish. I'm trying to be me, playing a Scottish instrument." And technically, this maybe isn't these parlor pipes aren't a Scottish instrument, but I can play Scottish music on it, and you know, these pipes could probably play pibroch pretty well. But you know, then again, that's Scottish. I don't speak Cantrock. I do hum tunes to myself that help me, are helping me with my marching, but it's probably a mix between Cantrock gibberish and Irish Tweedledee. Well, because that's the only way I can enunciate the certain sounds that I hear in the music. So what I wanted to kind of cover ahead, and you know, some of the people who are pipers are going to get kind of bored with this. So there's a set that I've been working on for a long time, but it's amongst a bunch of other sets that I have a lot of stuff that I kind of mix around because I get bored doing the same thing all the time. And I think that's part of the reason why I have trouble marching. Sorry, I'm going to light up my cigar here. It's not a cigarette, it's a cigar, so the tobacco's slightly different. So anyway, I have this tune or story that I've been trying to work on to tell with the small pipes, and it would probably work pretty well on the great pipes. Now, there's a tune that you guys normally hear me play at the beginning of when I do a post. That tune is called Laxdale College, and it's just kind of a happy 2/4 march that I play way too fast, and it actually has a really nice swing to it when it's played at a slower tempo. I've never measured it, but I play it too fast probably. So you have Laxdale College, which is kind of like people milling around having a good time. Then the second tune in the set is Minnie Hind, which is a jig. Sorry, which is a jig, but I play the full tune. So when I was in Southern California, the band that I discovered the tune through would only play the first two parts, but the second two parts of the tune are actually pretty cool, and they sound well when you're playing it fast. Now I probably play it too fast. So you have Laxdale College, which is people just being kind of happy, lazy. And then you have Minnie Hind, where you have a happy girl person doing a jig. Okay. Then, I have in the second tune, or the third tune, is, now, I don't want this to get kicked off the air because it might be a copyright infraction, because I've had somebody, I posted a short version of a pibroch, the Lament for Red Hector of the Battles. Somebody copyrighted a pibroch, and I think that is actually completely selfish, and self-centered to try to maintain a claim on a tune that is historic and old and should be played on YouTube by people who are learning. So anyway, that's my opinion, because that's restricting the music. Now I understand if somebody wrote the music themselves, or they interpreted something themselves, and that kind of thing. But to copyright the name of a tune without it being a huge market thing, I think that's kind of shameful. It restricts the ability for different people to express the tune. So that's just my opinion on that. So anyway, so the tune is Red Fox, and if you're following along with this story, so we got Lassdale College, then Minnie Hind, the jig, and then a hornpipe, which I'm sure I don't play right, because I play it kind of straight. Well, probably really straight, but it's by a tune by Robert Matheson. It's called The Red Fox. Now I can get through the first two parts. It's a three-parted hornpipe, and I'm looking at it right now. I think it's three-parted. Now the thing is, I've got the first two parts memorized, and the third part is very similar to the second part. So it's hard to memorize because you're doing something else. But there's a way to play it where you're playing it a fairly fast tempo at the beginning, and at the end you play it faster and it's more dramatic. But it's Red Fox, you know, kind of like The Chase. Get it? The Chase. Then the next thing you do, and this is from my experience. I grew up in a family with 6 sisters and just me and my mom, and no dad, no meaningful dad in there. So, and this is something I know from my experience. I'm not making a judgment or anything like that, but women tend to be always eating something all the time. Even if they're skinny, they're always hungry. So I don't know how that works, but that's just my experience from whatever. So I had the Red Fox, which is The Chase, and then the next tune is Nibbler in My Kitchen, which is a jig, I think. I don't know. I've got it right in front of me, but I got it half covered up. So anyway, so you got the Nibbler in the kitchen, you know, mouse, nibbler, people eating all the time. So that's the next part of my story. Then, just for a change in tempo and to brighten things up, which the set is already pretty bright. So my next part of the story that I'm trying to tell is it's the Glasgow. Okay, in American English it's Glasgow. Okay, in Scottish English, now I'm going to tell you guys right now, I can do a cheesy, cliche Irish accent. I cannot do, for whatever reason, I have a hard time with the Scottish accent, so I don't even try to do it. You know, if somebody points a gun at my head and says, do a Scottish accent, I'm going to just tell them, shoot me now. Because that's just the way it's going to work, because I can't do it. Now, but I have to say, I had an instant crush on, it's the only time I've had an instant crush on somebody, when in Harry Potter, the Scottish character Cho, her Glaswegian accent, oh my gosh, that just sent me. I had an instant crush on her. So just the way she speaks, and you know, cute. But anyway, that was Dan. So this is the first time I've ever said anything about that. So anyway, the next tune is Glasgow City Pipers. And to be honest, this is supposed to be a tune that's played fast. Now, everybody I've heard that plays this tune plays it straight. But it's not written straight. So, everybody plays the tune dun 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 when it's dun 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 on the... Well, I don't have my practice chanter here. That's not the way it's written. Sorry, guys. So you can play it straight, and everybody can gripe and everything like that and say, well, that's the way everybody else plays it. They're playing it wrong. That's not the way it's written. So it's Glasgow City Pipers, since I set it down. Now, this is my opinion, but I'm basing my opinion on the fact of what I see. Okay? So, the way I always hear everybody play it is... when it's written... one note shorter, so it gives it kind of a skipping beat, and it adds to it, and it plays better fast, in my opinion. But then again, I'm a mediocre piper, so that's my opinion on that. Now, so that's a lead-in to my next tune in the story I'm telling. So, and this is kind of a filler to make space, because it doesn't really fit, but it does fit, if that makes any sense. So I've never met any of the Glasgow City Police Pipers, so that's that on that. So my next tune in the set is because I got it right here in front of me, is The Lad Who Wears the Plaid, which is more of a low version of Rose Amongst the Heather. So I run into that, but it's not being played at grade 4 speed, okay, Strathspey Bay. This set isn't made to be slow and entirely controlled. It's made to be at a ceilidh, or to bring the crowd up, and so it's supposed to be played fast. So the first Strathspey Bay is The Lad Who Wears the Plaid. And it's very similar to the tune Rose Amongst the Heather. So the way it works is you got the Glasgow City Pipers. Then you got the lad who wears the plaid, you know, Scottish kid, guy, boy, man. And then, now, forgive me if I don't pronounce it correctly. Remember what I said about Scottish, my Scottish accent or my Scottish pronunciation? Shoot me now, okay? Over the hills to Ballindaluck. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but there it is. Now these tunes are supposed to... This is the break tune between the lad who wears the plaid and the over the bows to Ballindaluck is that's the jump to brighten up. And believe me, it sounds really cool on the Great Highland Pipes when it's amped up. So these are my Strathspeys. Now the next Strathspey, because I'm telling a story, so just keep that in mind. So the rose amongst the heather, he discovers his girl. Okay, so there's the rose amongst the heather. Well, roses have thorns. Okay, so part of the subliminal meaning, if you're catching on to the story that I'm telling, so that's the tune, and you can play that tune because it's up tempo. This is not competition Strathspeys. This is Kaylee. So you're playing a Strathspey at up tempo because you're not playing it controlled and everybody's judging every single grace note and everything like that. You're telling a story and you're embellishing the story the way you interpret the story. So then the next tune, now I had somebody get mad at me over this. Not mad, but disappointed with me. So you got the rose amongst the heather and you finish that. So the next tune is the Black Bear. Okay, there's not a lot I need to say about this tune, but there's a way to play it which is kind of naughty. Okay, and probably a set more appropriate for the pub or a locality where people can enjoy a sense of humor. Okay, and then the very last tune, you know, Cock of the North. That's it, and it's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to the story is about having fun and enjoying. And I don't drink, but there's other people that would probably enjoy the tune better drunk. I'll put it that way. Now I went for a road trip today, so that's what I do with this set. And I've worked on this set for a long time because I've been working on other things because I get so easily distracted and bored with continually doing the same thing over and over again. I'll freely admit that's my biggest downfall. I have too many cars. I have too many sets of bagpipes. But it's all in my head that I know exactly what I want to do on every single little thing. So, you know, heaven forbid if I should all of a sudden have unlimited funds and am able to do just whatever I want. A lot of road trips is what I would be doing. But I think it would be way cool. I would love to start in San Diego. And at any time I had to stop and get fuel, well, now in the excursion that'd be kind of tough because I can go almost 600 miles in my excursion. But I would stop, play my pipes, and do some busking. Not that the money is important. If I only made 50 cents, that is fine. I don't care. I'm playing. Because, you know, I went down to Shiprock, New Mexico, and just played the pipes. I didn't make any money, but I made a great friend. Not a deep friend, but I made a great friend who I'm still in contact with and still knows who I am when I contact him. I have the same situation in Kentucky. You know, it's not about the money, it's about being able to express something that maybe somebody else will enjoy. So anyway, I'm kind of lost track. So the last tune, Cock of the North, is, okay, there's a difference between an obscene mind and a Cock of the North is what? You got a rooster with all his fancy fine feathers, and he's showing off, and they're cocky, and they're brassy, and they're loud, and they're noisy, and they'll attack you. If you've ever been chased by a rooster, you know what I'm talking about. Okay? Everything belongs to the rooster. So that's the story that I've been working on, but I never fully get through. I have almost everything memorized, and then I gotta figure out how to do the marching, which is my biggest drawback, and that's that. So there it is. My start tune all the time is Laxdale College, because that was actually a very, very hard tune for me to memorize. And it's I played up tempo. It's actually a difficult tune to play. Not difficult as in horrendous. It's just difficult for me. And so there's that. That's my story for the night. For telling stories through bagpiping. Yeah, the thing is with bagpiping is that it's a language that maybe only pipers would understand. But if you play the tune right, you'll get the right message across to your audience, who might not have a clue of what you're saying or what you're doing or anything like that. But the set of tunes ramps up and then tapers, plateaus, and then dips just a little bit, and then finishes with the grand finale, which is the last tune. And I have 3 other sets that I'm working on that are like that. And I just do these sets because there's something that I want to express. Even if I don't ever publish anything or play the set out in public, because a lot of people recognize Scotland the Brave and the Great Three. You know, the Scotland the Brave, Green Hills of Tyrol, and When the Battle's Over. Well, I call those the Great Three because that's the way it is kind of in western United States. And then other mass band tunes I'm sure are popular in different parts of Scotland and stuff like that. So anyway, that's kind of my storytelling on the tunes. I kind of hope that some people from my Facebook page will watch this, and if they don't get too bored watching it, they understand what I'm trying to say or do. I'm not trying to be obscene or anything like that, but if it gets a chuckle out of somebody, then this whole diatribe is worth it. If it gets a chuckle to somebody who understands what I'm saying, then that's what I'm looking for. And I might never be able to actually play this entire set completely because I don't have enough time to always practice everything the way I want. And so anyway, there it is. Comment, and I'll say thanks again to my 3 new subscribers. I appreciate you subscribing. And anybody who watches this, leave a comment or something like that. What you think of this set. Not that you're offended by this set. It's supposed to be about having fun, okay? That's what it is. And I think this set tells a story that for those who know the tunes would enjoy the humor in it. And what else can I say? So anyway, thanks for watching. And I was almost gonna pipe through all these tunes, but you know what? that would make the video, 2 hours long. So, I'm going to get back to practice, and that's part of practicing is recording and erasing until it sounds right. And that's the way it works. So, thanks for watching, and there it is. Have a good night. Bye.